financial transactions. For over 67 years, they have provided values-aligned banking solutions to thousands of Christians and ministries. Consider Christian Community Credit Union as your banking institution by visiting joinchristiancommunity.com. Membership eligibility required. Each account is insured up to $250,000. This institution is not federally insured.
Do you feel like your hands are tied with debt, preventing you from serving God? If you have credit card debt, Christian credit counselors can help. Through our debt management program, we can get you out of credit card debt about 80% faster while honoring your debt in full. For more information on how Christian credit counselors can help, visit ChristianCreditCounselors.org. That's ChristianCreditCounselors.org, or call 800-557-1985. 800-557-1985.
Glad to have you with us today on Faith and Finance here on American Family Radio. Well, we're ready to take your calls and questions here in just a moment. The calls have started coming in, but we've got room for a few more. So if you have something on your mind financially today, we'd love to hear from you. That number to get in on the conversation is 800-525-7000. It's 800-525-7000. You can call right now. Before we head to those phones, in the news today, all eyes are on the Federal Reserve, as the central bank this week is expected to make its first rate cut in 4 years. The markets have already baked in a 100% expectation that the Fed will cut rates at its meeting. That's this Wednesday. Some observers suggest that the expected reduction, which is 1/4 of a point, 1/4 of 1%, isn't a lot to be excited about. More important is the trend and signs of cooling inflation, which could mean more aggressive rate cuts before the end of the year. Now, if you're waiting for your credit card interest rate to drop, it could be a long wait. In the last 2 years, the average credit card rate has risen from 16.3% to more than 20%, which is near an all-time high. And keep in mind, that's just the average. Analysts say that the Fed would have to cut rates several more times to get the average credit card rate down to 19%, which is just 1 point lower. Bottom line, take steps to pay down or pay off your credit card balances as fast as you can. The interest rates are likely to remain high for the foreseeable future. We, of course, recommend that you connect with our friends at ChristianCreditCounselors.org. If you'd like to get those interest rates down, you can do that. They'll come down to between 0 and 12% on average, again, versus that 20% average that exists today. It allows you to make one level monthly payment, keep the debt right where it is. You're not taking out a new loan to pay it off, and the combination of that level payment and those lower interest rates allows you to get that paid off 80% faster. Again, ChristianCreditCounselors.org. Now, we've already seen CD rates and savings rates starting to head lower. That trend will continue. This is a good time with your short-term money. I'm talking money that you're looking to put away in the most conservative end of the risk spectrum, from let's say 1 to 3 years as your time horizon. That's an ideal place for you to take advantage of CD rates. While they're still high, you can still get 5% on a 1-year CD, even 5.5. You can get 4 1/4, even a little better than that, 2 and 3 years, but those aren't going to be available for long. They've already started heading down in anticipation of the rate cuts. So a good time to kind of lock those in, even if you're thinking about maybe even something like a 10-year treasury. Those will be headed lower. This will be a good season for bonds in the short and medium-term duration over the next probably couple of years. But again, all of that needs to be weighed against your financial plan and a properly diversified portfolio. All right, let's dive into your questions today. 2 lines open, 800-525-7000. You can call right now. Let's begin in Oregon. Hi, Lynn. Go ahead.
Hi, we have a blended family and an adult daughter that has chosen an immoral lifestyle and has married another woman. They have a business they started last year and are wanting to expand on that. They've asked us for a loan, which we have the money and would like to help her, but also feel since we are stewards of what the Lord gives us, goes against our Christian values and endorses her immoral lifestyle. How do we handle the situation and what do we say to her? Our biggest concern is their salvation.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I think this, of course, needs to be a matter of prayer. And I think you all need to make it clear where you stand in terms of your own convictions and biblical worldview. And that's paramount. I would say with regard to this particular loan, regardless of the situation with the lifestyle, I think making a loan to a family member is never a good idea. In some cases, folks will, go ahead and do it. But it's just setting you up for relational strain, in the sense that even if somebody's best intention is to pay you back, and even if you follow the rules of open and clear communication, even putting it in writing so there's no, misunderstanding in terms of expectation, especially when it's a small business. I mean, keep in mind, 80% of small businesses fail. And, that is going to put you in a position where potentially, even despite her best effort, she's unable to repay the loan. And then that, could put you all in a financial difficult spot. Even if it doesn't, though, it could create relational strain. The only time I will, say to folks that are suggesting this to go ahead with it is if they're ready, willing, and able to make it a gift. And if there's very clear and documented communication, and so long as they understand that the Bible calls this type of relationship a master-slave relationship, which is just, it changes the relationship, and that's just something you typically don't want to see in, a family. So what I would say is I would probably not do it for those reasons, even before you get to the issue that you're raising around the lifestyle. Now, if you feel like and you've made it clear where you stand, and you're considering her salvation as the most important factor, and you feel like this would create the environment for you to have an ability to speak into that, well, that's certainly something you can pray through and make your own conviction on. I would say even before I get to that, though, I wouldn't do the loan, just because I think it's not a good idea when it's, a family situation. Does that make sense, though?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Listen, we'll join you in praying for this situation, that the Lord will give you wisdom on how to speak into her life and navigate that. We'll join you in praying that the Lord will open her eyes to Him as her Savior. And I realize this is something that's weighing heavily on your heart, but at the end of the day, I think this is between you and the Lord, and you and your spouse need to pray through this and come to a decision. I would recommend avoiding it for the reasons that I mentioned, but I understand it's a difficult spot, and we'll ask the Lord to give you wisdom as you navigate that. Thanks for calling today, Lynn. May the Lord bless you. Let's go to Missouri. Hi, Dennis. How can I help?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing real well. Thanks for your call.
Well, I'll be 74 next month, and I had some life insurance that was term life, and my insurance company informed me that my policy was going to jump to about roughly, I don't remember the exact amount, roughly $700 a month for the one policy, and because it was for 100 and some thousand, and it was going to jump to like between $700 and $800 a month. And that's just because it was term and it was going to continue to go up. So I decided to change my term policy to whole life. So I ended up with two companies, Bankers Life and New York Life, and they offered me policies to a total of $80,000, which I'm getting the policies to help my ex-wife in case I die, and there'll be enough to pay off the mortgage and give her some money to live on. But it's costing me about $740 a month. Now,
Yeah.
I'm a diabetic. I'm in my 70s. I'm retired military. But, I thought, well, I didn't know what else to do because I didn't know where to go to find anything, and I didn't know if I was going to buy anything cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, because of your age, Dennis, 73, plus your health status, it's going to be very expensive as it is. You're spending $9,000 a year on this policy. Let's do this. You stay on the line. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll talk about where you go from here just around the corner. We'll be right back.
Streaming.af AFA.net has now become AFA Stream, and you can find it at stream.afa.net. You see, we removed the letters ING. Our experts have determined that eliminating those 3 keystrokes, multiplied over hundreds of thousands of AFA Stream visits, could reduce the national debt and maybe increase the gross domestic product. AFA Stream, formerly streaming.afa.net. Improvements to the economy are purely theoretical.
FaithFi is grateful for support from One Ascent. One Ascent believes that your values inspire why you invest and how they can inspire how you invest. One Ascent's goal is to provide solutions designed for every need and invest in businesses that bless the people and places God has made. They want to help investors do well by doing good, to explore a new way of investing that aligns with your values. More information is available at oneascent.com and by clicking Analyze My Investments.
Is God calling you to ministry? It's time to multiply your capacity for ministry with an affordable degree. The Bachelor of Arts in Christian Ministry at Wesley Biblical Seminary is the degree for you. When God called you to ministry, He called you to preparation. This degree is the education that you need to put all the pieces together for an amazing life of ministry. You will graduate with a confidence for ministry that is backed up by your competence in the scriptures, theology, and ministry. Come learn with a trusted seminary that will help you become a faithful leader. Learn more at wbs.edu.
Faith and Finance is grateful for support from Sound Mind Investing. For more than 30 years, they've offered financial wisdom for living well. SMI provides step-by-step guidance for do-it-yourself investors, from those just getting started to those getting ready for retirement. More information, including a short video webinar on profit and peace of mind, no matter what's happening in the market, is available at soundmindinvesting.org.
American Family Association President Tim Wildman.
Dad was concerned about the direction America was headed, and he was determined to do something about it. Maybe that describes you today. If it does, I want to strongly encourage you to consider a charitable gift annuity to American Family Association Foundation.
Call the AFA Foundation at 800-326-4543, extension 345.
Frustrated by your health insurance? Confused by the network restrictions and increasing premiums? There's a better way. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is a Christian community delivering a faith-based solution to the high cost of healthcare. Take back control of your healthcare with the ability to choose a provider you trust with no network restrictions and savings of up to 40%. Learn more and enroll today at chministries.org/faithfi. That's chministries.org/faithfi.
So thankful to have you with us today on Faith and Finance here on American Family Radio, applying a biblical worldview to financial decisions and choices, helping you make planning decisions. That is, how do you live, give, owe, and grow in light of God's Word? Also investing decisions as we bring our values as believers alongside the investment decisions that we're making so that there's not a mismatch there where perhaps we're avoiding companies that are misaligned with our values, or even companies that are using corporate profits in a way that are misaligned with our values. Also engaging, like the American Family Association has been doing extensively as of late, as owners or shareholders of companies, letting company leadership and the boards of directors know that we are in disagreement with some of the practices of the company. Well, that's the opportunity you have as a shareholder, and increasingly investors, even just the average investor who's buying in a 401k or has a mutual fund or some stocks, you have a voice that you can leverage, and having an advisor that understands your biblical worldview and can lean into that and counsel you appropriately, I think is a big idea. And that's why we're so intent on making sure you know about the Certified Kingdom Advisor designation, which you can find a CKA in your area at faithfi.com. Let's head back to the phones. Nearly all the lines full. We have room for perhaps one more. 800-525-7000. Out to Missouri. Hi, Dennis. Go ahead.
We were discussing life insurance before.
That's right, Dennis. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's pick that back up. I think the question is, for you to spend $8,000, $9,000 a year on a death benefit, did you say it was $100,000?
$80,000.
80,000. Yeah. So, we're talking that, in less than 9 years, you will have fully funded this death benefit. And then at that point, you would still be paying on a policy that's, going to end up paying out less than what you could have had in savings. Not to mention, if it were getting a return on it, you're going to get to that same, 80,000 in less time. So I think the key is this the best use of your money? Typically what we say is that we have life insurance during our working years while we're accumulating assets. And I realize you may say, well, I wish I would have saved more, but I don't have a whole lot. And I understand you want to be a blessing, in this case, to your ex-wife. It's your passing so she can pay off the mortgage. Into a savings account alongside whatever other assets you have, even if there's not significant wealth there, you've got something that's probably a better use of that money that you would then have access to in the meantime if you needed it, rather than spending on this big, expensive policy at your age and with your health status. But give me your thoughts on that.
ガソリンステーションでは
Being in
出
that
る
type
か
of
閉めとくだけにしとかないと
situation,
だからもしタバコ吸う時のこと言ってるわけそうしないと
I thought about just saving the
ぶ
money.
つかるからドア開いてると狭いから向こうとこっ
In
ち
order
の
to
距離がない
save
から
up, I need to save up
だから
actually
もしタバコ吸うな
$90,000.
ら一旦出たおかげ
All
吸わ
they
ないと
offered me
こ
was
の
$80.
と
So
こ
I
ろで
thought
吸えない
that
から
if I could, if by saving or trying to save it, that would take me about, I don't know, 8 years or so. Well, I don't know if I have 8 years, and I'm concerned that if I kicked off, she would get what I have saved, but if it's not that much, it wouldn't help her pay off the mortgage because my ex-wife, because we're divorced, and she receives maintenance allowance. When I die, as you know, all my income stops.
Yeah.
I'm retired military and a veteran and all that.
Sure.
And that's another reason.
I certainly understand that. Dennis, what other assets do you have?
Well, I don't own anything now because my wife got the farm whenever we separated. The judge gave her the land and the house and everything. And I just live in I just rent a little place to live, and that's all I have.
Yeah. All right. And do you have anything in savings or any kind of other assets to speak of?
I have a little bit in savings, but not very much. Most of my money, it's going really to help the family, and so I don't have much saved. I'm starting, but
Yeah.
I'm very close to being totally out of debt. That's
Sure.
one thing I wanted to do, and I'm very close to doing that. Now, after that happens, then I'll have more money freed up to put into a savings thing or something else.
Okay. Well, at the end of the day, Dennis, I mean, this is something you need to pray about and ask the Lord for wisdom on. You need to make the call here as the steward. I just think that if for whatever time the Lord has for you here, and none of us know the day or the hour that he will call us home, I think a better use of that money is to take everything that you have that's surplus, including that, roughly $800 a month that you'd be spending on this life insurance policy, plus what you can add to it by maybe just being really lean on what you're spending. And then obviously once you get the debts paid off, that would be an opportunity at that point to, add something to it. That seems like that might be a better approach. I guess the other thing is just looking at, I understand your income's going to go away, but what is her ability, given the assets that she got in the divorce, to, pay for her expenses? And maybe she has the ability to do it. Because there's going to be something there. You've got some assets today, and you're going to be, adding $8,000 a year. So for every year that you have, and maybe we get it up to $10,000 or $12,000 a year that you're putting aside, once you pay off the debts, you're getting closer to her. Rather than kind of throwing money away on a term policy that you'll never get back and don't know that you need, and 8 years from now we've fully funded it and you got nothing to show for it. So I think my better option would just be keep our lifestyle lean, save as much as you can, try to get out of debt as quick as you can, and and then you'll have 100% of that available if that's what you decide to do, is to leave it to her as the next steward. But ask the Lord to give you some wisdom on that, and I'm confident you'll make the best decision here, Dennis. We appreciate you giving us the opportunity to weigh in, and thank you for your service to our country, sir. We're grateful. A quick break and back with more of your questions. Donna, Scott, Gloria, coming your way just around the corner. Stay with us. We are grateful to Chessman Wealth Strategies for their support of faith and finance. Their mission is to help clients make smart choices with their money so they can worry less, enjoy life, and ultimately become good stewards of the resources God has entrusted to them. ChessmanWealth.com. That's ChessmanWealth.com. The phone number is 214-572-2120. Investment advisory services offered through CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Is your success in life being stolen? Here's Pastor Jeff Shreve.
Unbelief is involved in every single sin. Why did Eve eat the forbidden fruit? Because she believed the devil's lie rather than God's truth. Hey, if you don't believe God, you'll never be a success.
Learn what real success can be like. Join Pastor Jeff Shreve on From His Heart each weeknight at 6 Central here on American Family Radio.
We are grateful for support from the Eventide Center for Faith and Investing. ECFI is an educational initiative of Eventide Asset Management that seeks to help Christians understand and practice biblically faithful investing. They do this through their podcast and online journal featuring articles from industry thought leaders and their course called Discover God's Story for Investing. More information is available at faithandinvesting.com. That's faithandinvesting.com.
Financial fear is real, but so is God's promise to provide. At FaithFi, we know the daily stress of money can overwhelm your heart, but Jesus reminds us to look at the birds of the air. They don't worry, and yet our Heavenly Father feeds them. And look at the sparrows, a 21-day devotional. You'll find peace by focusing on God's faithfulness as you discover how to overcome financial anxiety with faith. Visit faithfi.com/sparrows and begin your journey with Look at the Sparrows today.
Every day, AFA offers biblical insight on issues that others aren't willing to touch in the hopes that you'll become a world changer. That's why we're offering an in-depth worldview training course called Activate. 13 different professors teaching 18 sessions, all available online, including a printed workbook to help you apply what you've learned and 1-year access to AFA streaming content to give you even more resources. Find out more about Activate and sign up today at activate.afa.net.
As the leading advocate for the Christian financial industry, Kingdom Advisors serves the public by promoting the integration of a biblical worldview across every aspect of the financial services industry. And we serve a growing network of thousands of Christian financial professionals, equipping and empowering them to carry biblical financial wisdom to their clients, peers, and community. For more information, visit kingdomadvisors.com. That's kingdomadvisors.com.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
Taking your calls and questions today on anything financial. This is Faith and Finance on American Family Radio. I'm Rob West. Thanks for being along with us today. Hey, let me invite you to be a Faith and Finance supporter. That's right. As a listener-supported ministry, we rely on your support for a portion of our ministry budget each year. And we're slightly behind for the month of September, so this would be a great time. If you count on this program, you've found some of the advice helpful, or maybe it's just been an encouragement to you, or perhaps you want to see others encouraged to be faithful stewards of what God has entrusted to them. A gift to FaithFi would go a long way to helping us continue to do that. Just head to our website, faithfi.com. You can click Give at the top of the page. Again, a one-time gift between now and the end of the month would help us stay on budget for our listener support for this ministry year. Again, faithfi.com. Just click give. Thanks in advance. Let's head back to the phones. By the way, we have 2 lines open at 800-525-7000. You can call right now. Donna is waiting patiently in Virginia. Hi, Donna. How can I help you?
Hi. My question had to do about a loan to my grandson. And I think I caught, while I was speaking to your person who does call screening, I think I caught a part of what you said to the other gentleman, but only the tail end of it. Yeah. My circumstances are, this is a young man, about 23 years old, who has been raised in a very strict Christian home, homeschooled, did not do well with homeschooling, has not a lot of skills except he does a lot of like shop work and fixing things and stuff like that. So we do not have a relationship with him because we were sort of kept at a distance by his parents who wanted to protect him from the world, which was, I guess, us. But anyway, he's only called us twice in his whole life, and both the time he was asking for money. And this time he's asked for $100,000 because he wants to buy a house from an older gentleman that said he's given him a deal, and he said he only wants a short-term loan, and he's willing to pay 5% interest. He said his mom would co-sign for it. However, when I asked her, she said no, she would not co-sign for it, but that he was reliable. They'd lent him money before, they just didn't have liquidity to do it now. So the other factor in here is that he has 9 siblings, and therefore I don't know what expectations would be set in place if we lend him money in regard to the other, because they don't have much prospects as far as making a way in the world, except for one who was sent to college with the hope that he would do well, graduated as a chemical engineer, but then said bye mom and dad and bye to the faith, and he's off on his own.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's several things going on here that would lead me to say this is not a good idea to make this loan. First is the big idea that I said a moment ago to the previous caller, and that is, lending changes the relationship. So the Bible calls it a master-slave relationship. It says the borrower is slave to the lender, and so that's just not a relationship you want among friends, and certainly not family, because despite his best intentions, if all of a sudden he's unable to pay as agreed, even if you take the time to have really clear communication and you document the loan and everybody's on board, it may even be filed against the property with a lien. The question is, what recourse are you going to take against a family member to collect, and what would be the further damage and fallout to the relationship that's possible? And so I think the idea here is you are the steward, and you're deciding how to steward what limited resources God has entrusted to you. And so the extent to which you have the ability to be a blessing to this child, I think a gift would be a better option. The challenge here is, as you said, you've got to look at what you may or may not be able to do across all the other siblings. Number 2, there's a lack of a relationship here. He's only called you twice, and both times you said he's asked for money. He's also either intentionally or unintentionally misled you about a co-signing that he said was going to be in place that you've confirmed is not. And I would say that's a problem in and of itself. Not only that he has at worst lied to you, or at least not verified his mom's intent, but secondly, the Bible is very clear there should be no co-signing. That's one of those where it's not even a conviction matter, it's just plain in God's word that we shouldn't co-sign. So that's something that I would have an issue with. So I just think this is ripe for potential fallout negatively, not only in your relationship with him, but just the financial implications of this, plus all the other children. And so I think you need to say, listen, we've decided we're not going to enter into a debtor relationship with any family members just because it's not worth the fallout relationally. But if you'd like to have a relationship, we'd love to be in a relationship with you. You may even decide you want to bless him with a gift at some point down the road where you're not loaning him money, as an opportunity to hopefully even open up the chance for further conversation. You all also have the ability to know just kind of where he's at in his life, and the skills that he has, and in this case lacks, and what that means, the implications of that for his ability to get a job that's going to pay a reasonable amount that allows him to even, make good on the obligation he would have to use. So I think for all of those reasons, Donna, I would gracefully and lovingly tell him you're going to pass on this, but that is no indication of your desire to have a relationship with him, and be praying for him, and hopefully he opens that door that allows you all to speak into his life. But give me your thoughts on that.
Well, I did purchase that book that you talked about, Splitting Hairs.
Yes, ma'am.
And I keep thinking that what he said there was, do your giving while you're living. So that's why I even entertained this. However, the aspect of, the other children and the variation in ages kind of complicates matters. They are in our will, and so they all will get something, but of course that's down the road.
Yeah.
So,
Well, but I think doing your giving while you're living is different than doing your loaning while you're living. And so if you have the ability to make a gift to him outright, to say, listen, we're not going to enter into a debtor relationship with you, but we would love to bless you with X amount of dollars for you to use toward your down payment. And by the way, we'd love to, have a relationship with you where we talk more often than when you need money. So let's, make some plans around to that end. But I think a gift doesn't have any strings attached. It doesn't have the potential to create a difficult, strained relationship if there's not a repayment there. It's just a blessing. And so that, I think, is much better and would be something I would wholeheartedly endorse if you had the ability to do it.
Yeah, the ability sometimes is kind of a little short when you
I get it.
other systems.
Yes, ma'am. I certainly understand.
Okay, I appreciate your perspective. Thank you. My first reaction was I'd love to do something to help this young man who was very persuasive. He talked to me for like 45 minutes before he popped the question asking for the money.
Yeah, and that's, unfortunately, it's too bad that that's the only time you get the call. And I think just cutting it off by saying, listen, and be very clear about this, we love you, but we've made a decision. We're not going to enter into a debtor-lender relationship with any family members. And that cuts it off. And then I think before you have that conversation, you and your husband decide if you're ready, willing, and able to make him a gift of any kind. And you have to think about whether or not you'd be willing to do that for the others. And then you could turn around and offer that at the same time. But even though we're not going to make this loan to you, we would like to bless you with $1,000. And, would ask that you put that toward the down payment. And can't wait to see how the Lord provides. So hopefully that helps you, Donna. We appreciate your call today. May the Lord bless you, and call anytime. Another break, and then back with our final segment. A lot of great questions coming up. Scott, Trey coming your way just around the corner. Andy as well. We'll be right back. Our thanks to Certified Kingdom Advisor Wade Chessman, President and Wealth Advisor, and his team at Chessman Wealth Strategies in Dallas for their support of faith and finance. Their goal is to help their clients expand their understanding of biblical financial principles and how to implement them. The website is chessmanwealth.com. The phone number is 214-572-2120. Investment advisory services offered through CWM LLC and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.
Oh, I know. Christianity's for Sunday. What you do Monday through Friday, that's your normal stuff. The Holy Spirit doesn't take Monday through Friday off. He's with you every day. He goes with you in every situation. Dr. David Jeremiah continues his series in Ephesians, Belief That Behaves. Next time on Turning Point.
5:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central on American Family Radio.
As a faithful listener of the Faith and Finance program, you know that there is life-changing financial wisdom in God's Word to meet all your needs. More than anything, FaithFi is here to help you and millions of others see God as your ultimate treasure. As a nonprofit, we're grateful for our partners that help expand our outreach every month with their generosity. Has God provided financial answers for you through this ministry? Please consider becoming a monthly partner by visiting faithfi.com and clicking Give.
If the heavy burden of debt is robbing you of freedom and peace of mind, Christian Credit Counselors can help. We're a nationwide nonprofit credit counseling organization that has helped over 300,000 individuals in the last 27 years get out of credit card debt 80% faster while honoring that debt in full. To learn how Christian Credit Counselors can help you, visit ChristianCreditCounselors.org. That's ChristianCreditCounselors.org, or call 800-557-1985.